Thanks, Evan. Well, Ottawa is still shaking its collective head, Scott. The technical term for what happened this week is fiasco. The Liberals lost their own motion on maternal health. Some of them even voted with the government on the estimates motion. What the hell is going on? So much for making the trains run on time.
All right, well, a couple things, obviously. I mean, first, can't count. A good piece of advice is don't show up to a gunfight with 13 abstentions in your hand. But you know what? Official Ottawa loves to, get itself all wound up about this stuff. I'll tell you what matters in the big picture here. This is an issue that Conservatives do not want to get caught out on. They do not want to be talking about this. And in that sense, it's shrewd politics for the Liberals. I'm going to give you 3 words. Charles McVitie. You know who he is? He's the head of the Family Coalition.
He's the guy you bring up whenever you don't have a better argument.
No, I got a great argument. This is a guy. I got to bring him up because Conservatives won't. You want to talk about hidden agenda? This is a guy who gives you money. He gives Conservatives organizational heft, and what he asks for in return are private meetings and an absolute commitment to social conservative values, beginning in and ending with refusing a woman's right to choose.
But here's what this is all about. What this is about is when you make a bomb, you got to make sure it blows up in the right place. In order to be taken seriously by the commentators, by the media, and by the voters, people got to know that you know how to do politics. And what the Liberals demonstrated this week is they don't know how to do politics. If you don't know how to do politics, you're done, like dinner. Look, I like Michael Ignatieff. I like the idea of Michael Ignatieff, accomplished people in public life. But man, oh man, this is not going well.
It was not flattering. But you know what? A woman's right to choose is, from these Conservatives, is like kryptonite from Superman's mouth, and it's a bad thing for you guys to be talking about. All right, next up. Ann Coulter, Rush Limbaugh in a sort of Louis Vuitton set of high-heel boots there. She's in Ottawa this week, basically wasn't permitted to speak, got very out of hand. Jamie, some people say that she's the winner from this thing. Some people say not hearing from her is a good thing. What's your take?
I think some of her ideas are like crazy, as that Uncle Nobody in the family likes to talk about. But the truth of the matter is she has a right to say what she has to say. We may not like it. The real test of free speech is when people say things you don't like and letting them say that. I think that, do I agree with what she says? Of course not. Would I ever tell a Muslim student to go take a ride on a camel? Absolutely not. But the way to deal with her is to take her on in open debate and wipe the floor with her. Not do what the University of Ottawa did. Dumb response.
Well, you know what? Like Ann Coulter, I'm tall, blonde, and beautiful. But that doesn't
short hair, though.
But that doesn't give me the right to say whatever the hell I want. And here's my beef. There's certainly a kind of a conventional wisdom emerging about how terrible it was to give her oxygen. And you know what happened at University of Ottawa? Free speech happened at University of Ottawa. Thousands of people stood up and said, "Get lost." That's free speech. If she doesn't like it, lump it. And, from my perspective, this whole sort of ugly side and ugly face of conservative values that comes up from the States, but it exists here as well, which is, this kind of radio personality, gas bag, hate peddling, ugly stuff. We got no time for it, no need for it here in Canada.
And I think it's all made up anyway.
Yeah.
Next up on the order paper, Governor Mark Carney, the governor of the Bank of Canada, gave a speech yesterday. He said that prices were increasing more than he expected. Economic growth was proceeding a little bit faster than he expected. And he signaled that the days of rock bottom interest rates were going to come to an end. Governor Carney, Minister Flaherty, doing a good job?
Governor Carney, yes. Jim Flaherty, no. I know you're going to find that a predictable reaction, but you know what? There's a big difference between the two jobs they've done. Mark Carney has been consistent, steady, and focused. He's telling us now that he may make a move on monetary policy. Monetary policy is what saved this economy over the last 18 months. Jim Flaherty, wrong on every single projection he's ever done. 1 month in office, betrayed himself on income trusts, has actually taken this country into deficit before the recession, and now has no plan to meet the needs of the middle class. He's talking about pensions because he's literally been dragged, kicking and screaming by every premier in the country. This guy is the worst finance minister in 25 years. It is shocking he's still in his job.
Bad predictions from you a bit, Rich, after all those budget deficit predictions that were always way.
Yeah, we always ended up in surplus, not deficit.
Let's look at the numbers.
Small but important factor.
$37 billion in economic stimulus out. 160,000 jobs created since last year. A 1.5% difference in the unemployment rate between America and Canada. Historic high. On top of all of that, OECD says second best growth in the G8 countries this year, best the year after that. This is a plan. This is leadership. This is leadership that's working.
Here's Here's the problem. The Conservatives are missing what's happening with middle class. They are indebted on their credit cards. They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about their ability to pay for care. You know what? You guys are talking about how great the economy is doing. How are people doing, Jamie? They're stressed out. All right, listen, finally, it's prediction time. Montreal, we got the big 150 conference going on this week. Blue skies, smart people, smart ideas, Liberal renewal. Jamie, what do you think?
My prediction, this is the second Liberal fiasco of this week. You know, Earth to Liberals, this isn't the Harvard Faculty Club. This isn't some academic conference. This is some academic fantasy land. Right when they should be connecting with Canadians, what are they doing? Oh, let's go get some white men from America and from Australia and stack them. Let's exclude our own MPs. The guys that are actually, the women and men that are actually elected to represent people. We won't have them there. And then on top of all of that, just when they should be focused on the middle class problems of today, they're focused on 2017. 7 years, 7 lifetimes away. I think you should go back to my friend Jim Flaherty and do what he did yesterday, which is launch a big consultation program with everyday Canadians to solve real problems right now.
Yeah, and did he take one of those $9,000 flights to get there? All right, listen. Canadians are going to see a couple of things this weekend. They're going to see a party that is preparing itself to govern, that is actually thinking not about the small politics of the moment, but the big challenges of the coming decade. That's what people want out of government. That's what people miss from government. A government that doesn't just live, breathe, and eat pure partisan bile politics. And that's all you get from Stephen Harper. Are you with me? Are you against me? They want a government that's going to say, hey, what are the challenges for the middle class? What about the looming pension crisis? What about health care? What about jobs of tomorrow?
2017.
And these are the things that, no, we need to fix these things today and for tomorrow. And you're going to see at the end of the weekend that you have a Liberal Party where you're going to understand what their priorities are, understand what their values are, and it's a step in a process, and it's a very important one.
Well, that's the time we have for Point of Order this week. I'm Jamie Watt. Next week we'll be back, and I'll be right, and Scott, you'll still be wrong.
Yeah, but at least I can give a speech at the University of Ottawa. Thanks. See you, Evan.